What's up, people? In this video we are going to look at this individual or duo, I guess. What is it? That vegan couple. Somebody asked me to look at their channel and or one of their videos. These two people right here, they look pretty vegan to me, not gonna lie. She actually looks pretty good. I watched like the first 3 minutes of another video of theirs, but I just couldn't do it. It was like so cringe. This guy, I don't know, like how he doesn't look good. It's not a good look. Anyway, if you guys have any other recommendations for YouTubers or videos that you want me to take a look at, please let me know in the comment section. I've done like 6 of these today. I am like, I should not be making this video right now, but I saw this one. It was just too good not to. I'll never be a mother, vasectomy regret. So, can kind of tell where this is going, but let's look at it anyway.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So there's been a lot of talk in the high carb vegan community about vasectomies. A lot of guys are getting the snip. And Luca had a vasectomy in September 2014. It was a mutual decision. I'm not going to talk about the reasons of...
Ugh, come on, YouTube, why are you doing this to me?
Why we had the operation. We'll link the videos here. Go and watch those videos and you will understand more about this whole process and why we chose to go ahead with it. In this video, I want to give the perspective of a woman who is living with a man who has chosen to have a vasectomy. As a wife, a woman who I will never experience being pregnant, I will never experience giving birth, I will never experience raising our own child. And we have...
Okay, so first of all, you can still get pregnant, still give birth, just not with your husband's sperm. That's number one. Number two, I seem to recall that there are some negative health effects of getting a vasectomy, like it messes up your testosterone or something. So let's look this up. Negative health effects of vasectomy, which makes sense. I mean, you're like cutting the tubes. Let's see. Side effects, blood clot, ugh, gross. Like, actually, let's say negative experiences after vasectomy. Anyway, whatever. We'll watch this video. But basically, like, I've heard that there are some hormonal issues with after getting a vasectomy, and like, you know, no offense to anybody who's had a vasectomy out there, but like, to do that to yourself as a man, I feel like you're taking away, I don't want to say you're taking away what makes you a man, but you're like, you know, they call it shooting blanks for a reason, right? You're like taking away, I don't want to say you're like taking away the fear, but like you take away a little bit of your power that you have over your woman. I'll never get a vasectomy. Sorry, ladies, not going to happen. You know, I'd rather have an accidental kid, which I also won't do because I'm somewhat responsible. Anyway, yeah, let's watch this.
Zero intention of adopting or fostering. We don't want to raise a child. We are very content with the people that we help online. We have so many young people saying you're like my online mum and dad. So we feel like we are raising children from a distance via social media, and we're very content with that role. So growing up, I was never really keen on the idea of having children. It definitely was expected of me as a woman, but also I have a European background, and you know, getting married, having children is just par for the course. It's what we do. I remember at one stage was thinking, oh, I'd like to experience being pregnant. I thought it was quite freaky, like having someone grow inside of your body. It's like a little alien. And I used to think of it as more of an experiment than something that I really innately wanted to do. I didn't have strong maternal instincts, I don't feel, until I was about, I think, 29, 30 years old. And the main reason for that was that we were living in Thailand and we'd spend our weekends volunteering at an orphanage. And this was amazing. This was the first time that we were in real contact with babies, and we loved those kids. We had a ball. They became ours. We were their mum and dad. They were our children. And the love, the bond was so, so strong. I formed a very special bond in particular with 2 children, a boy and a girl, and the girl in particular, very, very strong connection. We just loved each other, and that was the only time in my life that I actually thought, yeah, I definitely want to be a mother. I want to have children. I wanted to adopt this girl. We looked into adoption. And from that point, we were definitely thinking of starting a family. We continued with the idea of wanting to have a family for some years, and we were preparing for that kind of mentally. We weren't vegan for that time at the orphanage, and we didn't know a lot of things about the reasons why we would ultimately choose not to have children at that stage. So it was very interesting going from that feeling, and that was very, very strong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, oh my gosh, like my heart was breaking and I really wanted a baby. I wanted to experience breastfeeding. I just thought it was all wonderful. So to go from that to having decided not to have children was quite a journey, quite a process. And again, all the details are in the other videos that we've linked. What was interesting is the last time we came together sexually before the operation was really, really emotional for me. I was kind of thinking like, oh my God, this is it. This is my last chance of ever being a mother. And I remember thinking, oh, well, if the condom breaks and I happen to fall pregnant, oh, that's just the universe giving us a sign. We were meant to have a baby and that'll just be it. Well, of course, that was never going to happen, and it obviously didn't happen. But I was actually quite emotional. I did cry that.
All right. Number one, I don't know why, for some reason, in Australia, they call it falling pregnant. Like, falling pregnant is like falling ill, or like it implies that it's like an accident, or it's not your fault. You might say it's just semantics, but yeah, it like, I think why they do it is to kind of take blame off of people. Like the originally, the reason that I thought they did it is like if underage girls get pregnant, or just teenage girls or unmarried girls get pregnant, they call it falling pregnant, to make them like not feel bad about getting an abortion if they want to get an abortion. But now to hear her say it, like, I'm starting to wonder. She's obviously not a teenager. That's number one. Number two, like, you can't make this shit up, you know? Like, the correlation does not equal causation, right? It doesn't mean if you get a vasectomy, you're going to be like some skinny weakling who, like, you know, is a little bitch basically. But like, you see the correlation. The guy's a vegan, the guy's had a vasectomy, like, you know, it's just like a lot of like similar things. So like, on the one hand, doesn't mean if you get a vasectomy you're going to be like that, right? But on the other hand, you think like, okay, like when you start to see all these commonalities popping up, you start to wonder, maybe there's something to it. You know, the whole soy boy thing, right? Like, if you drink soy, it doesn't, like, I drink soy milk sometimes, it's fucking good in Thailand. But, you know, every time I drink a little bit, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have this. It's totally irrational, right? You're not gonna, like, whatever, nothing's bad gonna happen from like a little bit of soy milk here and there. But you just wonder. Also, like, one more thing really quick, but you know, I don't know if we're the same age. She looks a little bit older than me, but I'm not in a position to have kids anytime now, and I can't really think of like I can't imagine a time in the future where I would want to have kids. I want them, you know, kind of, but like I can't imagine having them, if that makes sense. But when I look at other people who are like, oh, I'm never having kids, they're always like kind of sad people. Like, just it doesn't come from a good place, this like desire to not have kids. Anyway, let's get to the point of the story.
That night, it was just like this, the finality of it sunk in. And yes, of course, you can freeze your sperm for later on, and you can also have the operation reversed. But we knew that once we made this decision, we didn't want to do either of those options later on. So it was very much a final, this is it, this is happening. Now, post vasectomy operation, completely different feeling. I felt like 1,000 tons of pressure and weight were lifted from my shoulders once he got the snip. It just felt so right and so 100% in the decision, and I've never ever looked back. In fact, I actually found like there was more, I don't want to call it doubt, but kind of going over the pros and cons more before the operation. And once the operation happened, I was like 100%, this is perfect, spot on. I feel so good about this. I've never even thought about it twice with any doubt, any hesitation. I'm so, so happy that we decided this. So I think it actually became easier once the operation was just done with than beforehand, because you've kind of got a foot in both worlds, like should we, shouldn't we, yes, no. Once it's done, and then it's just easy. And I know a lot of women are saying, but what about our natural instincts, our maternal instincts? It's natural to have a baby, to be a mother. And that's 100% right, and I'm not disagreeing with that. But we have created a very unnatural world. So following our natural instincts does not always match up or marry up with the artificial, crazy world that we've created. Yes, ideally, in a perfect ideal world, Luca and I would have very much enjoyed having our own children and raising them. But it's just not a scenario that we see as feasible in the world that we have collectively created.
I don't know, I'm calling bullshit on that. Like, you're saying you don't want to have kids because you don't want to bring kids into this world. I don't know. I think that's bullshit. I mean, I've heard that excuse before, but I normally hear it from like angsty teenagers who like just hate everything and think the whole world is terrible. You generally don't hear it from grown adults who, I get it, they're vegans, there's a lot of death in the world and killing animals and eating them, fine, I get it, maybe they're extra compassionate or something, extra sensitive. But I think the real reason is like, you see this a lot in LA actually, like you have a lot of, yoga's very popular in LA, and she does yoga. I think she might be a yoga instructor, and it's kind of a joke, like in LA, like pretty much every single yoga instructor in LA is single, and pretty much every single time you go to a yoga studio to do yoga in LA, all the girls in there are single. Okay, they're generally pretty attractive also, which is good, but it's just kind of something that I've noticed. And the thing with yoga is that it's very like, you know, it's a great workout, don't get me wrong, if you go to a good class, but there's a lot of like this like spiritual, I don't call it mumbo jumbo, let's just call it mumbo jumbo, all this spiritual mumbo jumbo about, oh, I'm like really in touch with my body, and just like get in touch with yourself, and it's all very like self-focused and self-obsessed, even though they talk about, oh, connect with the earth and connect with this and connect with that. It's all very like inwardly focused, right? Which is kind of the point of yoga, which is that when you're actually doing the poses, because that's what yoga is like a series of several poses, you're supposed to breathe in at certain times during the poses and breathe out during at other times in the poses. So you have to focus a lot on yourself and make sure that you're, you know, when you stretch like this, you're breathing in, and when you whatever go like that, you're breathing out. And it's a lot of movement, and it just requires a lot of like focus on yourself. So this could be total bro science, and maybe I'm reaching with this, but it seems like that kind of self-absorption carries over into other areas in your life. So you see a lot, and it could be totally like unique to LA and like other big cities, I don't even know, but you see a lot of like fairly good looking, fairly fit women who are not married, they don't have any kids, and they're just like, you know, just single and just kind of doing their yoga and whatever, that's it. Anyway, I forgot why I was talking about this, but let's get to the point where she starts talking about regret.
So I have found that maternal instinct very much died down well before we decided to have the vasectomy, and it hasn't come back. I'm now 35 and almost a half years old, so I'm entering my 36th year, and I feel completely fine with this decision. I don't have any regrets at all. And I'm also really glad that we didn't act on those maternal instincts that...
All right, I feel violated. It's a misleading video title. I thought this was like Vasectomy Regret. Oh, I get it. Like, not actually Vasectomy Regret. All right, fuck these people. I almost don't want to upload this video. All right, whatever. Let's just finish.
That I was feeling back when I was 29 and 30 years old, because they passed. So in the heat of the moment, yes, it was 100% so powerful and strong, and I really wanted to have a baby. But that passed. And then I discovered new information that would shape my life forever. So I'm really, really grateful that we didn't act in the moment and respond to those innate feelings. And I do want to mention that a few years ago, when we were seriously considering starting a family, a friend of ours, a mother of about a 7 or 8 year old son, she was also married, confided in us that she really wasn't happy with how her life turned out. She loved her son, but basically she said to us that if she could turn back time and make the decision again, she would not have fallen pregnant. So she told us how hard it was, how many challenges there were, and it was just a very realistic view.
So it's kind of funny. I mean, you know, obviously, right? Like, oh, is it really that like you don't want to bring kids into this world? No, it's that you fucking don't want the responsibility. You don't want to give up your lifestyle. Like, be honest about it. Don't try like make it seem like, oh, we care so much about the world. We would just feel guilty if we did that to another person. That's total bullshit. Okay. And I'm also like, I'm really irritated that this is not what I thought it was going to be, this video. So like, fuck these people. That's number one. Number two, I have a friend, right? He's one of my best friends, very old friend. He's like my oldest friend, I think, that we still keep in touch with. And like, he lives in LA, and every time I go see him, because every time I go back to LA or California, I go visit him. He's got a family now. He's got a wife. Now he's got 3 kids, very cute kids. You know, nice wife, like very wholesome-ish family. I mean, he's probably like the least wholesome person in the family, but the rest of them are wholesome. Anyway, every time, like, you know, because I travel a lot, like we live different lifestyles. Every time I go back, he's always like, and he'll say this in front of them. He'll be like, dude, don't get married, don't have kids, right? Every single time. And then he'll be like, oh, well, you know, I'm just joking. I love Nicole. Her name's Nicole, right? I hope I didn't dox her. But anyway, I love Nicole. I love the kids. Like, so he's like joking, obviously. But I think, you know, from what I've heard, the thing about kids is like a job, right? Having kids is like having a job or having a business. It's a lot of work. You don't necessarily enjoy it when you're doing it, but the feeling of satisfaction you get afterwards, you feel like it's worth it. Anyway, let's watch the rest of this stupid video.
Due to this romantic idea that's sold about raising children, and that was a real wake-up call, because from the outside they looked like this happy, beautiful, perfect family, but inside she was still crying. Like, the kid was like, say, 7 or 8 years old, and she was still having moments of breaking down, and this is hard, and I didn't think it was going to be like this, and it was just a reality check. So when people ask us, well, what if you regret the decision to not have children, we always think of this woman, and what if you regret the decision that you have had children? Then what? So I just wanted...
One more thing, like, I'm assuming this woman she's talking about, oops, I shouldn't have done that, whatever. I'm assuming this woman she's talking about is a single mom. In my, like, I've never, no offense to any single moms who are watching this, but I've never in my life, well, except for my sister, she did a good job. Very rare that I see a single mom raising kids if like with proper discipline, right? There's like no boundaries. The woman is just like way too emotional, and they don't really like have any rules. Like, it really just depends a lot on how the woman is feeling at the time, how she reacts, and they're just like, basically, like when you're dating a girl, you have like a ton of bullshit you have to deal with. That's what it's like when you have a single mom. It's like you have basically like a full-time girlfriend for the first like 18 years of your life, which, you know, again, like, okay, you're a single mom, sucks for you. I'm not saying like everybody's ever been raised by a single mom is like a bad person, or all single moms are like mentally ill or something like that. I'm saying in my experience, the ones that I've seen who are like my age group and younger, they don't do the best job of raising the kids. They're like just not doing a good job. No offense. Like, how would I be if I had kids? I don't know, but hopefully not like that, because that's not good. Okay, so like to use that person as an example is not great. But honestly, like, I'm really just pissed that I was lied to in this video. So like, good vegan person, like, I'm glad you're not having kids, because I don't want the world to have more people like you in it. So kind of joking, but not really.
To give this different perspective on the topic. If you have any questions, ladies, please post them down below. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.
All right, I hate this person. Like, I actually like hate them. I feel lied to. Anyway, like, why did I even watch this? Like, I'll never get that 20 minutes back. I don't know. I'm over it. Peace.